The algorithms of social media platforms, they are not attuned to how do I best seek truth and understanding in this situation. What are they attuned to? They're actually attuned to something far simpler than that. They're just attuned to engagement. And what we've discovered is anger and outrage and snap judgments and division, right? This kind of stuff drives engagement. And so when we are engaging with information and we are engaging with the actions or the opinions or the viewpoints of others, we need to recognize we are engaging with a tool that intentionally is trying to cultivate more and more anger and outrage. Political pundit Scott Galloway recently made this observation on a podcast. He says 40% of the S&P 500 right now is represented by companies that have an economic incentive to divide us. Can we pause and recognize that for a second? There are billions of dollars at stake for companies that long for engagement, that long for more users, that want to drive more and more people interacting with these tools. And they have an incentive to keep people divided, because keeping people divided, keeping people angry at one another, keeping people shouting and making snap judgments of one another, it drives engagement. It drives more users to their platform, and it drives more dollars into the pockets of their shareholders. And friends, when we allow ourselves to be victims of this kind of engagement, when we allow ourselves to be victims of this kind of divisive rhetoric that we find in social media engagement, we end up jumping to conclusions and making all kinds of rash judgments about one another. And when we do this, if we take Jesus' words seriously, we enter into spiritual peril. Because when we do this, we fail to reflect the mind of Christ. How would Christ have us make judgments of one another? Because with the measure that you use, it will be measured to you, is what Jesus says.